Hello Flosstube, my name is Crafty Creative Claire and this is my WIP Parade that so many of you have been asking me for, so I blame you. Yes, you. I'm currently surrounded by piles of teetering projects that may avalanche at any moment. I'm a little bit scared. It'll be okay, we'll get through it. Okay, this is going to be completely different to the way I normally do my videos. There will be no updates, although you'll see them in passing as I wave the whips. There'll be no haul. My giveaway will be postponed until next video. It's just going to be whip after whip after whip. So if seeing endless streams of whips with not much progress on hurts your soul, this is not the video for you. And I'll see you next week, okay? I think I have around 60 whips, but I'm not sure. That's a guess, to be quite honest. I've got a list of them somewhere, but I haven't looked at it in a while, and I haven't updated it in a while, and I know I've added some since then. But I've also finished some since then, so maybe I'll watch this video back afterwards and count as I go. So we'll see. Also, it may take longer than half an hour that I usually do to go through them all. So I'm just going to keep going until my my tablet cuts me off. We'll see. So if I suddenly vanish, then I will complete the rest in another video. I am going to go quite quickly because there are quite a few. So if there's something that you want more information on, because I'm not going to go into great big depth on them either, then just put it in a comment and I'll come back to it in a future video and give you more in-depth information on that particular whip. Okay, so shall we get started? A little bit scared. In preparing this, I've come to the conclusion that I might have a few too many, because I want to stitch on them all right now, because I love them all, and you can't stitch on 60 whips at the same time. It's impossible. I'm not going to tell you about the new starts I've got planned. Wait till next week for that. Don't tell me I'm insane in the comments, I already know. Right, so this pile over here is the pile that currently lives in my stitchy spot downstairs to be grabbed as and when I feel like stitching on them. And this mountain over here are what are currently put away but can get pulled out every now and again to join those in my stitchy spot. Okay, so let's go. Right. What was I stitching on last night? This is the first thing in my thingy, is The Garden Shed by Michael Powell, or The Outhouse, as Michelle Bendy Stitchy would say. So I started this in Maynia. Was it last year or the year before? I don't know. I lose track. I think it was this year just gone. And I didn't get very far, and I literally only spent about 15 minutes on it last night, so I didn't get any further, really. So that's how far I've got. But Bendy Stitchy is going to be stitching this along with somebody else as stitch along, so I'm joining in because I have it as a whip. I've got it started, so I may as well. And besides, I saw Michael Powell at the weekend at the show, which I won't talk about, but he's lovely. So that's going to be that. Right, the next one is in Stitch Mania this month. The Tour de Designer, so they pick a different designer each month to stitch along with, is Little House Needleworks, and I have Needleworker, which was given to me by my lovely friend Catherine from Needlekeep Emporium. And where are we? So that is currently in my stitchy spot, and that's as far as I've got. I'm doing it 1/1 so that it's not as big as it normally comes out in. There. So that's that one. My Heaven and Earth of the month, because I usually do like half an hour first thing in the morning on a Heaven and Earth design, just to keep them ticking along a little bit, and I usually change that each month. This month is Ex Machina by Chris Ortega, And if you want to see a beautiful, beautiful whip of this, look at Mumula's video, because she's kind of halfway. She's got the face done and stuff. I'm still on page 1. There. Can't see much. Isn't much to see. All my lovely needle minders there are from Needle Keep Emporium. So that's that. I did half an hour of that this morning. Next one, another Michael Powell. This is my oldest whip. Spanish Hilltown 1. Still not completed, but getting there. So I've done those. So that's down at the bottom there. There. Still a bit to do on that, and then all the back stitch. Next up is Lakeside Needlecraft Fantasy Stitch Along. And I've done, you can just about see they're all rolled under there. I've done the bottom 3. And the Pegasus, and then I'm on the unicorn now. And I don't know why I stalled on this, but I have. And basically the only thing that gets me to pick it up at the moment is my daughter going, will you stitch on my unicorn? And so I pick it up and stitch on that. So she loves that one because it's going to be hers. The next one down in my stitchy spot is the Lizzie Kate Spirit of Christmas Mystery Stitch Along. And I have just started part 2, but not got much further on that one. Next one is something that I pull out most Wednesdays, for reasons that I won't go into now, but Wednesdays is the Prairie Schooler ABCs. I started it in Maynia this year, Stitch Maynia, and that's as far as I've got on A, and I'm going to be doing 9 of them on this piece here, and then the rest of the letters will be on other bits of Ada. There we go, that's on 18 count oatmeal Ada. Next we have Brouhaha, the stitch along for Tracy P's birthday, which was last week. So he's there enjoying his cup of tea or hot chocolate, not coffee, don't like coffee. So there he is. He's got a little bit further than last week, but not much. And then Moonlight Laguna Mermaid by Nora Corbett. I love her at the moment. I'm going through a real phase on her. And that's where I've got with her. Been working on her tail a bit more. The colours are just stunning. Love it. Love working on her. And she is on some pink and blue be 32 count even weave from Sew It All. It looks nice. And the next one, Little Alien Schoolgirl. Love this one. I have done no more since I did the parking meters there. That was the last bit I did. Princess Leia, TARDIS, R2-D2, all my spacey things on Little Alien Schoolgirl. Okay, that's that pile. Then my Saturday stitch is Heaven and Earth Designs Story Keep Jewel of the Sea by Jessica Galbraith. And that's her. And I won't unwind her, but that's the bottom of her tail, so I've only got about that much left to do. So that's her. And my latest start has been the ATC that I am stitching for Adele's Facebook group. And this month's the ATC theme is Feasting Festivities, which basically means food. And so I am stitching. Can you tell what it is? No. It's going to be a turkey on a plate surrounded by vegetables. But I can't show you the picture because it's just a pattern. But trust me when I say that will be a turkey. And then we come to my perforated paper whips. So here we have Penelope the Pumpkin Witch. And that's as far as I've got on her so far. And Sarah Stitches is going to be stitching it with me, although she's kind of stitching something else at the moment, kind of obsessively, so she's not going to start this anytime soon. Michelle Bendy Stitchy said she might stitch it with me. So yeah, that's there. Then this one I started in Maynia this year, and it is the Mill Hill Love ornament. That's as far as I've got with it. That will probably come back out in February for, you know, the month of romance. Stitching Joanne finished that, and it is beautiful. I'm going to keep those slightly separate so they don't get squished. This one is another love one, and it's a Brooks Books freebie, and it's a Valentine's frame. So it's you just do the frame, and the idea is you cut out the middle and put a picture of your loved one in the middle. So I started that one. Then this one is another Brooks Books, and it is nearly finished. If I wanted a quick finish, bam, this would be my go-to. This is Senorita Sugar Skull. So there is her scully face, and some of that is glow-in-the-dark thread, which obviously daylight you can't see. So these are her cheeks, so they will be cut out and put kind of here. And then on her head there are a number of flowers which I'm stitching on here, which will get cut out, put on her head. And then somewhere I've got a whole bunch of really colourful feathers that will come up behind her head as well when she is ready to be done. And then I have her husband, Senor Sugar Skull, also by Brooks Books. And I started him in Maynia this year, and I got that far. Woo! Yeah, not overly far there. Right, let me put those paper ones in there to keep them safe from the squishing that may ensue otherwise. Right, so all of those are downstairs by my stitchy spot. This mountain of goodies here is not. So this is a random one, so I'll do this one first. This is bizarre, really, to be quite honest. It's going to be a cushion front. So it's stitched with wool. And this isn't stitched, this is printed on the canvas. And it is cross stitch, but you cross stitch it with wool. And I've got that far. It's just something a little bit different that I thought I might try. It's not challenging particularly in any way. So if I'm really tired, I really want to cross stitch but can't bear the thought of following a pattern, this is great because you could just stitch what's on there. It's a bit like a normal printed cross stitch, but it's with wool. A whole load of wool. So that's that. I haven't got very far of it. It doesn't call to me particularly because it is so different. I never really think about picking it up, but I thought I'd give it a try. So there's that one. And then I thought I would go through all the ones that are on scroll frames, and then when I've done that I'll go on all the ones that normally live rolled up in a crate under my bed. So the first one here is Time and Season Sampler by Moira Blackburn. Mandy from Mandy Floss, who has just made another Flosstube video, and she was at the retreat, is stitching this, and it looks fabulous. And here is mine on my biggest frame ever, and that's as far as I've got. And I'm stitching this for my mother-in-law, who looks a little bit like Mrs. Claus. That's that one. Heaven and Earth. I've got 9 Heaven and Earth designs on the go. You've seen 2 of them so far, and the rest are all on scroll frames. This one is Bubble Fairy Cat Face by Carrie Hawkes. And that's as far as I've got with him. Not quite sure. Boy or girl, don't know. The next one here is my Celtic Noel. Another one that was given to me by my lovely friend Catherine. And I've done her hair. So as we come into December and I feel more Christmassy, I shall pick her up again. And I've got Anna and Elsa from Needle Keep Emporium on there because, I don't know, it feels Christmassy to me. The next one is The Guardian by Theresa Winslow. And there he is. He's not getting as much love as he perhaps deserves at the moment. More needle minders there. There we go. And then another Heaven and Earth, not in colour this picture. It's Mini Which Way by Molly Harrison, and this was racked to me by Sarah Stitches. And I did most of this kind of last January, February. And the colours in her are stunning when you get to her, which is why I love her so much. I love all the colours. And that's just the tip of her hat with Mary Poppins. There. Stitchy box with Northern Expressions needlework. Did a whole bunch of mini twists, they called, a couple of years ago. So I've got them all, but I've only started 2 of them. And this will be coming out, I think, for the Tour de Designers, I think next month in Maynia, is Northern Expressions Needleworks. And that's as far as I've got on that one. So I'll be getting that one back out again. Another Heaven and Earth mermaid. This is Ray. She's sexy. Look at that hair. That's fabulous. Love her. And that's as far as I've got on her. Even though she's blonde, all I've done on her hair so far is brown. She's on sparkly fabric. Yeah, I'm running out of places to put these. Another Heaven and Earth is Blue Rose. It's a Blue Rose. It was a stitch along, so it was a one that was on the bulletin board a few years ago. And she is by Meredith Dillman. And that's as far as I've got on her. She's a bit sparkly. She's got lovely eyes. Beautiful roses. Yep. Put some over here now. And you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Stitching this one for my youngest daughter, who is that one. That's my oldest one. Because we sing it to her quite regularly. So I love the colours on this. And I think this month there is a citrine colour of the day in Stitch Maynia on the 15th. So this has got to count. Stitching on that one. Another Heaven and Earth is Venus Dryad. That's as far as I've got on her. Sparkly green fabric. And Nora Corbett Trick or Treat Fairy. Not sure why she's a fairy. She doesn't have wings. But that was what she's called. And that's as far as I've got with her. And I've just started doing 1/1 skin on her. And then you've seen this last week. This is Castles by the Sea by Theresa Winslow. Haven't done any more on it since you last saw it, so the sand castle up there is what I'm working on. And then my big Heaven and Earth Designs focus piece, which is Celestial Companions. I won't unravel him all. It's getting a bit loose. But that's as far as I am at the moment on him. Gorgeous boy. Look at that head. Ooh. Love him. No, it's not the last one. This is The Big Red Ship of Life by Ink Circles. And Sarah Stitches bullied me, I tell you. Bullied me into starting this. Not really. Doesn't take much to get me to start things, I have to say. And that's as far as I've got. And I'm stitching it 1/1 on 28 count. So it's quite tiny. That's my not very tiny at all giant octopus needle minder. A little whale. And I'm stitching that with 2 colours of red. One for the border and one for the motif. And my last Heaven and Earth is Blushing Rose, who is quite a sassy, flirty little fairy there. Not particularly little, to be honest. And I have just done the top of her hair and some of the background. Got Flower Fairies needle minder on her. Oh, we're getting there. That is all the scroll frames that I have. And we are 22 minutes more or less in. Let's keep going. Now we're on to the pile of laid out pieces I have here. Last year, earlier this year, can't remember, earlier this year I think, I did a round robin, and my piece that I sent round was Ink Circles Metamorphosis, and this is what came back to me. So I need to fill in the missing squares, which I can do. Love that, love Ink Circles. And the threads on that are beautiful. This is the other stitchy box. Mini twist number 2, which is Rhodes and Rice stitches. I've not got much done on that. So that is as far as I've got on that one. This one was a freebie kit with a magazine. I think I started this for a pink stitch along at some point. And it's Emma Congdon from Stitch Rovia, Home Sweet Home. Again, this would not take any time at all to finish. Home, or rather, ho. So yeah, that wouldn't take very long. And this one I started for Maynia last year. And what fairy is she? Harebell Fairy. And she is Flower Fairy. And I've just started her skirt. Now, a lot of these that are coming up, I started for Stitch Maynia either last year or this year, and they haven't got much done on them at all. But my philosophy is, I love stitching on them. And like Cowgirl Kate said in one of her videos, I just love stitching on something that is so beautiful. And if you finish it, that's a bonus. And also, if I've got them started, then starting is often one of the more difficult bits to do in a project, because you have to collect all your things together and know where you're starting. So if all that bit's done, then at any point I can just pick these up and work on them without having to worry about all that, because that's out of the way. That's just my little explanation before you see this great big pile of only just started WIPs. So, John Clayton. This is Summer Meadow. So this will be coming out for a summer stitch along. And that is as far as I have got on that one. This one is a Lizzie Kate and Christmas one, the Santa Nose, and it's Tiny Tidings X1X. What's that one? 19. Roman numerals. They may have to had to think for a minute there. And this is 1/1 on 28 count, so it's going to be quite small to go on the tree. So as far as I've got on him. The Christmassy ones will probably all be coming out in December. This one is Big Ben from All Our Yesterdays. And this is a kit that's been in my stash for about a decade, so I started it. And there is Big Ben. Another John Clayton circle. I love his circles, they're so beautiful. And this one's called Morning Delivery. And again, not got a huge amount done. Can you see? I can't see what you can see. There. Just the top of one of the houses, a bit of a tree and some clouds. Another Lizzie Kate Christmas one. Oh, come let us adore him. Oh, come let us adore him. There we go. And this one was in Cross Stitch Crazy. And it's a Jodie Rice one from Satsuma Street. You can get it from her shop now. And it's the Emerald City. And this will be coming out for my Disney Stitch Along with Maynia in December as well, I think. So it's on Sparkly Ada. And I have added much sparkle into it as well, because it's emeralds. It should sparkle. Theresa Winslow. I'm stitching this one here called Above the Clouds. So beautiful dragon. And I have been working on the castle. And blue Ada. Yeah, 18 count Ada. And this one is a Theresa Winslow that literally just needs a little bit of backstitch. And this one is called Majestic Peacocks. And all I need to do is finish backstitching the peacock, and that is a finish. So I will get to that when I'm in the need for a finish. Next one is Pennsylvania Dutch Heart, also by Theresa Winslow. And that's as far as I've got on that one. Backstitching as I go to try and make sense of what all the green blobs are. Lizzie Kate, Cherish All Living Things. Beautiful and a very lovely sentiment, as many Lizzie Kates are. That's as far as I've got with that one. I'm doing this one with a mixture of DMCs and the called for kind of special threads. It's my Thanksgiving piece, which I started last year for Thanksgiving and we'll pull out again. And I'm doing, it's from Lizzie Kate, and he is called Miles in the Pair of Pilgrims. And I stitched on him just on Thanksgiving, so this is one day. And I believe those are part of his hands. You can't tell at all. He's going to be huge, he's bigger than you think. Another Lizzie Kate. Forgive quickly, kiss slowly. Very good advice. And I'm stitching this one in Gloriana silk on 36 count even weave. I'm sure you can get the full colour. It's a beautiful red, variegated red. Again, that will come out in February. We're coming up to half an hour, so I might get cut off, or it might decide to play nice, so we'll see. This one is the Ship's Manor, I want to call it Under the Sea, but that's not, doesn't seem right. Well, it's a sea stitch along, and I'm about halfway through. And I do love the colours in this. Beautiful. Another Theresa Winslow. It's called You Were Hatched. And this was a limited edition that she did a few years ago. And I have got that far. So that's the mum. Her head curling all the way around there. With added extra bling. Jardin Privé, Gentleman Quaker. Started this in Maynia this year. And that's as far as I have got with him. With his little dog's head. So he's all in black apart from a variegated blue, which I like. This one you have seen recently. And it is the doe, a deer, a female deer. And I have finished part 1, Silver Creek Samplers, a Singer Sampler. There we go. Now we'll pick it up at some point and do the next block. And then I might sing a little bit more of the song, if you're lucky. This one, My Lady's Quaker, Jardin Privé. I love her hair. Honestly, that looks like my hair if I tried to put it up. Sticking out all over the place. And that's as far as I've got with her. Again, she's black, but with a variegated pink instead of a variegated blue. Because, you know, we're stereotypical here. Ink circles. Wings and things. Stitched on this recently. I've just put it away now because it was for Dark October stitching. And I will pull this one out on the 13th of every month. For dark stitching on the 13th. And it's on Quiescence. Opal Quiescence by Chromatic Alchemy. And I need to keep stitching on this because I want to get to the glorious, gorgeous Gloriana silks that I bought to go with it. So that's that one. Also started in Maynia this year is Lizzie Kate Things Unseen Mystery Sampler from a few years ago. The best. And it's the best things in life. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. But I always want to sing the best things in life are free. So maybe if I stitched some more of the words, I won't want to sing that so much. Michael Powell. Castel Koch. Or Fairy Castle. Also started in Maynia. Also hardly got anything done on him. Just a bit of sky. Oh, I think I've done it. Nope, it's actually that way. Sky and then mountain. Not that way. That way. Theresa Winslow, birth announcement, which I am doing for my 2 girls. I may have it finished by the time they are both married. If they get married, they may not. Is... Oh. The archers on that. My thing is flashing at me, saying something about the recording, so I don't know whether it's still recording or not. We'll find out. I'm going to push on through. We have Gathering Eggs by Mirabilia, which I started in Maynia this year. And she is that way up, I believe. And that's just her arm holding the eggs. There's only a few more, so please don't go away from me yet, tablet. Foxes that I started in Maynia. I've done nothing on them since. So that's as far as I've got. Summer in the Square by Just Nan. I started this for the 10 a day stitch along at the beginning of the year. Didn't get very far with that because then I lost my stitchy bug. But it is beautiful. Really delicate and pretty. That one. Ink Circles with Stitchy Box. This was the Spring Tapestry on Icky Linen. But that's where I've got to with that one. I haven't picked that up again yet. You make me happy when skies are grey. I will sing the whole song when I start the last one. There you go. That's as far as I've got on that one. I have got all three, and I've got fabric for all three, so I will stitch them. Last two. Down to two. Dragon Ride. Wizard on his... And this was a fabulous gift to me as well. And people are so generous. There we go. And that's as far as I've got on that one. There will be more, I promise. And the last one, we're going to finish with a Theresa Winslow Dragon Ride, which I started in Maynia, and then it gave me a heart attack by having a mark on it. So I stopped stitching it to wash it and haven't picked it back up again yet. And this is part of the dragon's kind of spine. So that's as far as I've got. And that's all of them. So did you count? I need to go back through and count how many I've got and see how it is. Right, yes, I've got a lot of whips. I need to get some stitching done. I hope you enjoyed seeing my WIP parade. Like I said, if you want any more details about any of the whips that I kind of flashed in front of you, do ask in the comments below. And I'll be back with my normal update next week. Thanks a lot and take care and happy stitching. Bye!